destruction, of insatiable bloodlust. We are his savagery incarnate, the epitome of brutality. Rewarded for our ferocity. Join our relentless hunt. Enact the wrath of the Blood God. Unleash your fury. Blood for the Blood God. Skulls for the Skull Throne.
Alright guys, and there's the trailer. Certainly quite a bit of fun. It was cool seeing Skarbrand in action and also hearing most likely what his voice will be sounding like in the game. I was always under the impression, some of you guys may know quite a bit more about lore than I do, but Skarbrand in lore, I'm pretty sure there's a moment where he actually goes fisticuffs with Big Papa KHORNE. Like he challenges him, you know, he's all about that kind of stuff. So they actually fight, and then in that fight, I'm pretty sure, or maybe it's just more of a punishment from KHORNE, but KHORNE eviscerates his wings, and like his wings are all like burnt and frayed and tattered. That's why if you look at the Skarbrand tabletop model compared to like regular Bloodthirsters, his wings are all kind of destroyed. He's like this fallen angel type character, right? But yeah, it looks like he can fly pretty damn well too. He like jumps up in the sky and is able to take flight there in that trailer. But if you guys do know, let me know in the comment section below. I'd be quite curious. But yeah, really excited. More so, I want to see the roster fleshed out. We didn't see too much in that trailer that I think we haven't seen. It looked like some of the Herald type characters that of course we saw in the early preview, the more armored, because you have the Exalted Bloodletters, the basic Bloodletters, and then you also have the Herald character, which was riding on a Skull Crusher or Blood Crusher, can't remember, but yeah, he was riding on a Juggernaut, basically, in the battle that we played, so we got to see him a little bit closer up, it looked like. Certainly very excited, but man, I just want to see the whole roster so bad. So looking at this first screenshot we have here, we do have what appears to be a Gorebeast that isn't on a chariot, so that's something, probably the only tease that we really see here as far as new units go outside of Skarbrand. So it looks like the Gorebeast that you do have access to on the Gorebeast chariots for the Beastmen and Warriors of Chaos, or actually Beastmen is Razor Gore, so it's just Warriors of Chaos, but it looks like they might be like a standard unit here, and you can see multiple if you look at the screenshot on the bottom, kind of just left and center of Skarbrand standing on top of the rock looking super alpha. You can see we do have the two Gorebeast units, so maybe they'll be like a small multi-model unit, like 3 or 4 of them, and they'll be kind of like a Kroxigor type thing, or some sort of a monstrous infantry piece, which I think is quite cool. So a little bit of a teaser into that. As far as Skarbrand goes, in tabletop, Skarbrand is actually quite a world beater. KHORNE is kind of in an awkward place as far as 40k goes. Hasn't been updated in quite some time. The demons, I think, are due for a new codex sometime in the next like 6 or 7 months. But in fantasy, you do see him quite a bit in Age of Sigmar KHORNE lists. He's often used. And yeah, as far as his rules go, I'm trying to think of what we could possibly see. He actually has a rule in tabletop, which is really neat. What it essentially does is, enemy units near him, including friends and foes, they get the ability to get an extra attack, which is, you know, can kind of help you or hurt you, but he also prevents enemies from retreating or falling back. It like forces them into combat. Makes me think that, you know, so essentially if somebody tries to retreat from Skarbrand in tabletop, what it does is that I think you roll 3 dice, and if those dice exceed the leadership of the highest unit in that squad, which is usually, you know, around 7 or 8, so you're more than likely going to do it, they're not able to fall back, and they have to like stay and keep fighting Skarbrand. So it makes me think maybe he'll have some sort of like a Fury of KHORNE ability that buffs nearby units, and I don't see him buffing enemy units in this game, but I think that would be something that'd be really cool, where he can force enemy units to stay in combat with him, like a AoE rampage, where they just get like visions of KHORNE and violence and bloodlust, and then they stay and like fight him, and that would be something that'd be really neat. And oftentimes like big monster characters like this, just big beat sticks, kind of get focused on by missiles and mass, but if you have something that can keep somebody in combat with them, which I think KHORNE really will need, obviously they're not going to have access to magic, so they're going to need little kind of tips and tricks like that, and I'm sure he'll buff up nearby KHORNE units as well. But I'm very excited. The trailer is quite a bit of fun. It's always cool to hear someone yelling, you know, skulls for the Skull Throne and blood for the Blood God. I mean, that always gets the blood pumping, so yeah, I just want to see the full roster. So looking at some more screenshots here, we do see the Gorebeast. We also got to see the KHORNE spawn, which is pretty drastically different than the basic spawn. It has like this big kind of a glowing lava claw type thing, and certainly has some different patterns on it. Another screenshot here, we do have what appears to be Skarbrand up in the top right. Looking here, let's see if the Eagle Eye can spot anything. So these are the standard shielded KHORNE warriors with the basic blood letters in the middle. Up in the top right, it's kind of hard to tell, but those might actually be the Skull Crushers or Blood Crushers. So nothing terribly revealing about this screenshot. Nonetheless, it does give us probably an idea as what a quest battle looks like. A quest battle. It's not taking place in the survival scenario. It just looks like a regular battlefield, and I actually really like that map. It looks like it'd be pretty good for multiplayer too, and has that really neat flare of KHORNE right there. Next up, we have the Brass Citadel once again. So obviously we saw this in the survival battle. Nothing terribly new here. Or could this actually be... Looking at this, okay. You know what? This might actually be a siege battle. This might be like... Man, if this is... No, they have the towers. This looks pretty similar to what we saw before. I was just kind of fantasizing that this could perhaps be like a siege battle, which would be pretty cool, right? You have like ramparts that you could potentially work with. There's like tower emplacements. Maybe a little bit of a tease of what's to come there. And of course, looking at the Lord poster for Big Papa KHORNE here for Skarbrand. He's looking cool, man. Yeah, you see how his wings are all burnt and like charred? That's from, I think, going fisticuffs with KHORNE, but he's got a pretty powerful beard ornament as well. You can see he's got this like big goatee strap going all the way down, rivaling that of Settra the Imperishable and the Tomb Kings. Looks like his hair is on fire as well. But yeah, very excited to see him in action. KHORNE is a faction I actually play in tabletop a little bit. I have a World Eaters detachment that I play with my Chaos Space Marines. I have some Berserkers. I also do have Karn the Betrayer. I don't have any KHORNE demons, but that might change down the road if they ever like make a codex that combines them. Because in fantasy, they actually are combined. If you look at the Blades of KHORNE, I'm pretty sure you can mix all the demons with the mortals and vice versa. Whereas in 40k, you can, but they have to be in like separate detachments and meet different rules. I don't know if it's like that. I'm pretty sure it's not in Age of Sigmar. I think it's different. But all right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that little breakdown. We looked for some Easter eggs. We found some. I am very hyped, and as soon as I have more information on all this goodness, I'll make sure to share it with you all. And if you guys have any interesting lore tidbits about KHORNE, Skarbrand, or any other characters, please do let me know in the comment section below, and be quite interested to read up on it, because I am very tempted to go buy the Skarbrand model, which is very neat. All right, my friends, take care, and blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time. Take care.